Up and away! Episode 4 of My Adventures with Superman has been, so far, the best episode of the second season. When least expected, the episode develops Lois and Clark very well, Lex Luthor is sensational, and we also have confirmation of Supergirl's appearance. Stay until the end of the video, as this episode is filled with references, Easter eggs, and theories that have started circulating in recent discussions. Welcome to Comic Chronicles. Episode 4 of My Adventures with Superman focuses on the theme of loneliness, the fear of feeling alone, and this is very well explored in the development arc of Lois Lane with her father and Superman with his friend Jimmy Olsen. The episode starts with Clark and Jimmy entering the apartment and seeing Sam Lane in distress because a suspicious van had been parked on the street for over a day. Sam believes that Amanda Waller found him and will send Task Force X after him. Next, Jimmy receives a delivery containing an invitation to attend a conference about Superman at Star Labs, remembering that Jimmy is known as Superman's best friend. Clark and Jimmy are happy about it, except Sam, who receives a message from an anonymous source saying he has been found, which worries him even more. After that, Clark tries to talk to Lois about the communicator but once again fails. Suddenly, Jimmy arrives in a limousine inviting Clark to the conference, initially making Clark wary that he was called because he is an alien, considering the event is about aliens. However, Jimmy clarifies that he actually wants his best friend to be there with him. At this point, it is clear that Clark still fears how humans see him and tries to fit in among them. This fear is shown at the beginning of the second season's first episode when Clark has that dream. He is afraid that those closest to him who know his secret will treat him as an alien and not as human. In the same scene, there are several mentions of DC characters who have not appeared yet, such as Hamilton, Wade Eiling, and Senator Sackett. Professor Hamilton is well known as a scientist who initially helped Superman but later turned against him out of fear of the danger that the Man of Steel could pose to humanity. He has appeared in Superman, the animated series, and Justice League. Wade Eiling is a military general obsessed with turning metahumans into weapons for the government, who even blackmailed Nathaniel Atom into participating in an atomic experiment, transforming Nathaniel into Captain Atom. Finally, Senator Sackett has been a mayor of Metropolis in the comics. Going back to the episode, Lois wants to talk to her father about her job offer in Gotham but cannot find him. Looking through the window, she sees him walking suspiciously on the street and decides to follow him. At that moment, she begins to have several flashbacks of her childhood, where she was trained by Sam Lane out of fear of her getting hurt. In these flashbacks, Sam and Lois seem to have a very good father-daughter relationship. Before we continue, if you are enjoying following the episodes of My Adventures with Superman, give the super like to the video and super subscription to show your support and help us bring more videos about our beloved Man of Steel. At Star Labs, Clark has fun with Jimmy seeing the developed technologies, and this moment of the episode is also very good since there is a great dialogue between Clark and Jimmy, where Clark expresses his happiness at having him as a friend and how Jimmy has saved him several times. Back to Lois, she follows her father to a hideout, where she reveals her fear of him leaving her, as it had happened before. They are attacked by the villain Damage. Sam and Lois flee into the sewers, leading to the second flashback, this time during Lois's adolescence when her relationship with her father was already different compared to before. She complains about always having to move because of Sam's army position, which prevented her from maintaining friendships. Sam was an absentee father in her life, leaving Lois feeling lonely. In the present, Sam tries to apologize for his past actions towards her, but they are soon found and attacked by Atomic Skull. They flee to a pawn shop where Sam's secret informant was located. Meanwhile, at Star Labs, Jimmy attends the conference but is shocked to find out that the theme is the Superman problem. Jimmy tries to defend Superman with his arguments, but Lex Luthor appears and manipulates everyone there to fear the Man of Steel with his own argument. Lex appeals to nationalism and US security, claiming that while Superman is on America's side, no one knows which side he will be on when a war breaks out. Luthor also states that before Superman's arrival in Metropolis, the city was safe and normal, with no robot villains in the city. These villains only began to appear after the Man of Steel showed up. Back with the Lanes, in the pawn shop, Lois and her father find Sam's secret informant, who turns out to be Sam Lane's friend, Winslow Schott. For those unfamiliar with the name, he is the Toyman villain, and in this animation, he is Sam's friend. Lois discovers that her father plans to flee, but she disagrees with his decision and asks him to stay with her. After being convinced by his daughter, Sam is betrayed by Winslow, who discloses his location to Waller and her Task Force X. Lane uses one of the shop's exploding toys to create a distraction, allowing him to escape with Lois. They run to the conference at Star Labs and try to defend themselves against the attack by the three villains. Superman arrives to help them. Lois runs away with her father using an invisibility technology while Superman faces the threats. Eventually, the Task Force X retreats, leaving Superman alone in a location destroyed by the fights. Everyone at the conference approaches to see what happened, and Luthor takes advantage of the situation to argue about the danger Superman poses, leading everyone to agree with him. Lex thanks Jimmy for the advice he gave in the first episode of the season, and you can sense Jimmy's guilt for feeling like he betrayed his friend. Embarrassed, Olsen runs off, leaving Clark alone. Superman tries to speak with Lois but fails as she is with her father talking about Clark himself, about how he is a different person. Feeling alone, Clark uses the communicator to send a message to his cousin Kara, as he does not want to feel that way anymore. Lois calls Clark, but he ignores the call. She soon realizes her father has disappeared, leaving her alone once again. This triggers a final flashback where Sam leaves her, resulting in the Lois we know today, someone who wants to handle things independently. This emotional flashback, including the transition from her childhood to adulthood, is impactful. Now, Clark and Lois are alone. In the end, Luthor and Waller talk to the characters mentioned at the beginning of the episode: Hamilton, Eiling, Sackett, and even Hank, who appeared in episode 1 about supporting Task Force X. There is now a question about who Hank will become, whether he will indeed turn into Cyborg Superman or some other villain, perhaps Metallo. We must wait to find out. The Kryptonian warrior arrives on Earth, and the episode ends. New theories are being discussed after this episode, one suggesting that the warrior is not General Zod but actually Supergirl, who answered her cousin's call and came to Earth. If confirmed, it would be a significant plot twist, as she was possibly deceived by Brainiac or created in this way. Additionally, the teaser for the 5th episode confirms Kara's appearance, even sporting a look resembling Android 18 from Dragon Ball, providing further support to this theory. This episode was excellent, focusing well on the central theme and ending with the protagonists alone. Regarding this issue, Lois and Clark should be together, but they are not seeing it at the moment. Since the first episode of this season, it has been hinted that this could eventually happen, as whenever Clark tried to talk to her about his cousin, she would interrupt him. Furthermore, Lex Luthor is fantastic in this animation, embodying his classic persona despite not being bald. His character is well developed, and his dialogues are engaging. Whoever developed the script for this episode did an excellent job, as the expectation was that this would be an episode focused on Lois and her father, but what was delivered here was something much deeper and very well crafted. I truly enjoyed this episode, hoping that the upcoming ones will maintain this level of quality, as it has undoubtedly been the best episode so far. Now, I would like to know your opinion. Did you enjoy episode 4 of My Adventures with Superman? Do you agree that this was the best episode? Write in the comments, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, and join us for the analysis of each episode. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.